Mr. Administrator, 12 years ago I fought to get on this committee, and one of the first things I learned about was NextGen. Sounded great to me, safety and improved efficiency. 12 years later, and I don't know, about 1,000 hearings on NextGen, and I don't know, give or take $5 billion of taxpayer money, and I don't know how much money in private companies, and it's now been implemented in Boston. And I got to be honest, Mr. Administrator, I'm wondering, my support is significantly wavering. I don't see much change for all the money and effort. And this is not laying on you. I don't think there's anything bad. I think it's good to try something new. But sometimes it's also good to say, maybe it's not worth the money. And I'm kind of at that point now. I'm following up on a question on DCA. As far as Boston goes, I'm told that I can't even intentionally fan planes because, oh no, we can't do that. Yet in DCA, you can do this. I just landed that way the other day. Sounded great. See, I understand it. But I can't do it anyplace else. That doesn't make sense, especially when we spend all this time and money on a system that should allow you to do that exact same thing. Mr. Administrator, I got to tell you, I think my real basic question is, why should I continue to support throwing money at NextGen when I have yet to see enough bang for the buck when it comes to decreasing noise, when it comes to increasing safety, when it comes to decreasing delays, or any other things that we had hoped the NextGen would support. And I want to be clear, I've always been a supporter of NextGen. I kind of still am, but I won't be until we start seeing these savings again really quickly. I haven't seen them, and I don't think I'm going to see them in the near future, and I just would like to give you an opportunity to convince me to hang in there.
Well, I'd encourage you to hang in there. We are seeing significant benefits all around the country, but I'd like to talk about some of the specific things we're doing in Boston. Boston Center has been fully upgraded in terms of the new automation platform, the en route automation platform that is really central to the deployment of all of the NextGen benefits that we're talking about. And it's operating very, very well there. Boston Logan Airport is an important test facility for us to test a lot of NextGen related surface operations that greatly increase the efficiency of the airport, reducing departure delays and also reducing congestion on the ground. We have a great relationship with the Massachusetts Port Authority to try to make the airport operate more efficiently. As we deploy more performance-based navigation procedures at Boston and at all the New England airports and throughout the country, what the airlines get is more efficient fuel and more efficient fuel consumption, as well as—
Mr. Minister, I don't mean to interrupt, but that's all well and good, but why are my complaints going through the roof? I mean, I've always had complaints about the airport. It's a congested area, but they're now much more than they have ever been. And honestly, it started when RNAV was implemented.
Well, I think it goes back to something that I talked about with Congresswoman Norton. One of the things that we want to understand is there a fundamental public shift in its interpretation and understanding of airport noise and how we respond to it? And this is one of the reasons that we want to look at the DNL metric to see, do we have better tools to evaluate noise on a community?
When you do, please talk to some of us who have suffered with it, but not just the so-called experts.
No, it's actually a national survey that we're doing of communities around airports.
Why don't you talk to some people who lived under some of these
Gentleman's time has expired. Thank the gentleman for his question. And with that, the final 3 minutes goes to Mr. Meadows.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr.